Happy holidays, Uttori Zoku. This is Imari from Always Uttori. On this channel, we cover fashion, food, and lifestyle. Always Uttori is about empowering you to bring enchantment into your life. And fun fact, Uttori is the Japanese word for enchantment. Today, we're continuing our exploration of Christmas decor themes inspired by the 4 color stories that we presented during our Christmas in July videos. With the completion of our French provincial theme in the color of lavender and seafoam, we're moving on to our smoked gray and iced vanilla color story. We've paired this color story with the brutalist aesthetic, and because we're all about enchantment, we're calling our theme a Christmas frost. A Christmas frost highlights neutrals as the main focal point of the decor. And while you'll often see softer hues when pairing neutrals, our pairing is a more uncommon joining together of grays and earth tones or browns with acrylic, which serves as our ice, added in as a texture element. If you'd like a reminder on the smoked gray and iced vanilla color story, or if you missed our French provincial Christmas theme, those videos will be linked in the description box below. This vignette video will be followed up by a DIY and food video, all focusing on our Christmas frost theme. With that, we hope you enjoy this little bit of Uttori. We took inspiration for this color story from brutalist design aesthetic, which is known for its use of raw materials, pared-back minimalism, geometric shapes, and lack of conformity. Speaking of non-conformity, rather than using a dining table, we're starting with a reclaimed wood console or sideboard table. The table is narrow, but it worked just fine for our dining needs. For seating, we use simple black wooden benches on one side of the table and gray high-back chairs on the other side. This not only plays into many brutalist design elements, such as a lack of conformity and an emphasis on minimalist geometric form, but also fits in with our color story. Because our table is long and narrow rather than wide, I needed to center our table setting as well as the eye. To do this, we're adding black butcher paper to create a center of the table. On top of the butcher paper, we're adding burlap fabric. This natural fiber brings a rusticity to the table and helps to warm up the starkness of a more traditional brutalist style. What is the brutalist aesthetic? It is an aesthetic style that originated in the UK during the 1950s in rebellion against more ornate decorative styles. The aesthetic declined in popularity during the 1970s and 80s, but we're seeing a resurgence in popularity in 2023 and into 2024, with Zillow calling it a 2024 trend to watch, and Better Homes and Gardens stating that the search for brutalism is up 452% in 2023. Brutalism emphasizes raw exposed materials, patinated finishes, and concrete or black as a backdrop to ground the minimalist setting. Next, I'm placing our centerpiece display. I got this vase from TJ Maxx last year. The warm brown color not only fits into our color story, but also represents 2023's updated take on brutalism, called neo-brutalism or organic brutalism. The updated style incorporates colors and new materials like glass and wood to the typical mix of concrete, brick, and metal. To the vase, I added some branches that I've had for a while, along with some crystal picks that I got from Hobby Lobby in September. The crystal adds the iced element that is part of this color story, as well as some holiday sparkle to an otherwise minimalist style. To further warm up the space, and to add comfort for guests, I folded a light brown blanket and placed it across both benches. Finally, I added some velvet pillows to the gray chairs. You might remember these from last year's Velvet and Amber Christmas theme. With the table and seating complete, it's time for the table setting. To stay within the theme, we're using a mix of icy silver metallics, dark moody grays, and grounding blacks. I started with silver charger plates that I got from TJ Maxx for $11.99 each. Next, I placed a large black dinner plate on top. These are my regular dinner plates that I got from Sam's Club over the summer. They're the Members Mark brand, so they're really affordable. I checked the website and the set is still available for $69.98. Anyway, before we place the next plate, I'm folding a silver napkin into a thin rectangle and tucking the ends underneath the black plate. These napkins are also ones that I've had for years. Next, place a small gray salad plate on top of the napkin. These plates are also from Sam's Club. We've already got a simple but elegant place setting, however, we're not done. The final touch is a cutting board place card, which I will show you how to make in our upcoming DIY video. They're perfect for writing names of your guests if you have a specific seating chart or want to personalize your table. You can also leave them blank and place them on top of the plates as decoration and a party favor. For silverware, I'm using my daily set of black flatware. The fluted gray glasses are ones I got from Amazon for $34.99, and black wine glasses that came from Saks Off 5th, which I've had for a few years. One unique feature of this setting is that because the table is so narrow, we've set the place settings diagonally from each other so that they aren't perfectly aligned. Before we move on from the table, we're going to add some finishing touches. First, we're placing faux concrete ornaments and stone napkin rings. The napkin rings were thrifted. I ended up setting them in between each place setting to add some holiday cheer to the table. After all, it wouldn't be brutalism without concrete, which is actually what brutalism means, as it is derived from the French phrase béton brut, which means raw concrete. The use of unfinished concrete was popularized by architect and designer Le Corbusier, who coined the term béton brut. Incorporating concrete pieces into your decor can be pricey, so we'll show you how to make these easy and affordable ornaments in our DIY video, as well as how to make the chicken wire Christmas trees. Even though brutalist style is paired back with little ornamentation, it wouldn't be Christmas without a little bling. Next is the tree, and it couldn't be simpler. I'm placing tree branches that I saved out from some tree trimming that we did in the fall into a large vase that I thrifted last year for $21.99. The vase was originally blue, but after a quick coat of black paint, it's perfect for our brutalist theme. I originally had a more involved plan where I was going to attach branches to a wood board I got from Dollar Tree. I didn't like it, it was too overworked, and that's the beauty of brutalist design. Raw simplicity is poetic. Gray cold leaves of winter with the promise of a spring to come. Natural brown branches taken from an overgrown tree. A utilitarian table put into service for dining. The brutalist aesthetic honors the materials that we use for design, taking them as they are rather than trying to manufacture beauty. Overall, I think the branches make a better Christmas tree. Of all the elements, this one is definitely staying for my winter decor. It fits brutalist style better than my original idea and is honestly one of my favorite features from this vignette. Another favorite is this set of Christmas bells. The bells are handmade to mimic the super popular cowbells that have been everywhere the past few years. I've seen a lot of other Christmas cowbell DIYs, but I'm excited to show you my hack to get them to look more realistic. I experimented with a few different styles and materials so the bells aren't uniform. I strung the cowbells on an antique cattle yoke that I thrifted. To hang the bells above the mirror, I used Velcro tape to help secure it in case the mirror is bumped. Remember to keep safety in mind when hanging your Christmas decor. Next, I'm going to tie back the curtains using a silver ribbon I had around the house. I'm making sure the knot is hidden behind so you can't see it. It's a simple thing to do, but it adds a subtle festive feel and perks up the space a bit more. Let's move on to the next element, a Christmas sleigh that I picked up from Kirkland Home. Kirkland has a lot of sleighs this year. I really like this one because it highlights the raw material of the wood. It also makes the perfect platform to place a little winter scene. I'm placing some firewood in a basket. I added a blanket for a more cozy feel. I got the blanket from Joann Fabrics 2 years ago and never unrolled it, so the tie on the blanket is from the packaging. I love it because it's very close to the tartan from my father's heritage. It's something I like to include in my Christmas decorating each year. Next, I'm placing our Christmas wreath, which is another DIY project for this theme. I placed 2 acrylic deer to bring in some of the ice theme. The big one I got from TJ Maxx for $16.99, and the small one I got from Dollar Tree last year, but I couldn't find the small ones this year. To create some ambiance, I'm adding 3 battery-powered candles that I got on sale from Amazon's Prime Day. And finally, I'm placing a lovely black velvet nutcracker to the right side of the wreath. I got the nutcracker from Hobby Lobby during their Labor Day sale for $10.99. The normal retail price is $21.99. It took some trial and error to figure out the layout of this scene. When setting your own scene, don't be afraid to move things around and try different layouts. When I finished the top, I thought something needed to be done with the space underneath the sleigh. It was a big blank space that took away from the overall appearance. So after playing around some more, I decided to add a lantern that I thrifted along with another battery-operated candle. I also put 2 glass Christmas trees that I got from Target's Wonder Spot for $3 each. I placed 2 battery candles that I got from Dollar Tree last year to light them from the inside, and I think everything came together so well. It really catches the eye and made the whole space feel like a warm and cozy Christmas, but still keeping the brutalist aesthetic. I think we met our design brief for incorporating our color story into a brutalist aesthetic. Now it's time to add the finishing touches. I have a table in the corner. I was going to put the sleigh on it, but it took things more modern than brutalist, so I switched things up. I had one more tree cutting that I saved during the fall. I decided to put it inside a black IKEA vase that I thrifted. This vase is actually a remnant of a failed DIY for this theme. I was going to do a floral arrangement, but I didn't like it. I did like the simple twigs, so simple twigs it is. I think the subdued, frosty color of them is perfect for this theme, and the arrangement invokes that raw and natural quality that is a hallmark of brutalism. Next, I'm placing a little holiday-themed book stack. I ended up building this on the fly. This is a popular DIY this year, and I've seen it all over YouTube and Pinterest. I picked out these books from my bookshelf because they fit with the smoked gray and the earthiness of the iced vanilla color theme. They are old vintage books, so I think it looks more rustic and adds a feeling of old holiday traditions. That is, if you don't read the titles of the book. I secured the books together with some craft garland and some beads, which I tied off behind the books. I grabbed a black and white ribbon and made a 4-loop bow. I thought it would be nice to add a bell, so I secured both the bell, which is left over from some of last year's DIYs, and the bow with some wire. I tucked the tail of the wire in between the books so you couldn't see it. I finished it off by placing some miniature bottle brush trees on top of the books. I tried adding some greenery behind the vase and books, but I didn't like it, so I ended up putting it in the basket below the table. I also added some leftover picks I used for the wreath DIY. I think they looked really great as a filler for the basket. I played around with a few things like these awesome wooden bells from Walmart, but ended up liking the metal gray and white bells from Kirkland's Best that I got on sale for $9.99, but retail for $19.99. Finally, I played around with a few other items because I felt like the table needed one more thing on the right side. The bells were too large and overbearing, and the deer didn't quite work. I landed on this simple cutout wood tree that I thrifted. Although, after everything was said and done, and I was cleaning up the set, I placed the deer on this table temporarily, and I sort of wish I had stuck with it. You'll have to tell me what you like best in the comments. I added the pear to the lantern that I put under the sleigh to the end of the table and put a real candle in it. And the deer did make it into the vignette here at the end of the table. I lit the candle and our Christmas frost is ready to enjoy. If you find inspiration in a brutalist style Christmas, then go for muted and natural color palettes, geometric shapes, and raw unfinished materials when possible. While ornamentation isn't a big part of the style, incorporating a variety of textures like glass, wood, and the traditional concrete, brick, and raw finishes, as well as adding pops of color, move brutalist style away from overbearing and gloomy associations of the past to the fresh and neo-brutalist style that's taking shape in the current zeitgeist. Brutalism is more than just a design and architectural style, it's a folkway, one that represents a philosophical movement. It touches on many different areas of thought and design. Even so, the aesthetic isn't bound to the historical interpretations of the past. Instead, brutalism is a setting of natural elements that allow for a reflection of whatever is needed of it. In this way, it is impromptu in interpretation and easily suited to updating and incorporating into celebrations that might not typically be thought of as brutalist. Overall, our interpretation of the style for this Christmas vignette makes for a sophisticated and elegant style with touches of warmth and a dash of holiday sparkle. If you watched this far, let me know in the comments if you are doing or would do a brutalist style Christmas. Interested in creating the projects from this video for your Christmas decorating? Next in this video series, we will be sharing our DIY video, and we'll also be showing you how to make a smoked graze board, perfect for a holiday party. Stay tuned for those upcoming videos, and thank you for taking the time to watch this one. Until next time, from all of us at Always Uttori, we wish you a safe and happy holiday season. Enchantment awaits. Life is just about finding it.